Hey howdy, hey everybody, it's your old pal Mark here, and I am back with another video for you. This one's a little project that I've wanted to do for a long time because I am very passionate about this subject, and it is Epcot. And to preface this, I need to say that Epcot is by far my favorite park. I love Epcot, but as I've described it in the past, it's like having a spouse or a significant other where you may love them the most, but they're also the ones that piss you off the most. I'm not sure if I'm okay saying that on the air, but that's okay. So let's get rolling. A lot of rumors have been going around over the past, 2 years at this point, and I think Epcot's just a mess right now. It is disgusting. Everything about it needs to be changed at this point. Updated, well, changed, not updated, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But to start off, I'm just going to give some background on what's been going on, and that Bob Iger has announced that there is definitely going to be, who is the CEO of Disney, and he's announced that by 2022, which would be Epcot's 40th birthday, there is going to be a complete Epcot overhaul. And when they announced this, they were very ambiguous about what the Epcot overhaul is, what it means, and what it's supposed to be. But they said that Epcot will be overhauled, and everybody was very concerned about that because they can go in a variety of directions. A little more background on Epcot itself, going off of that, is that Epcot started out as Walts Dream. And if you haven't read, it's a very interesting story. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but it was supposed to be a complete city instead of an amusement park when Epcot dreamed it out. And it was supposed to be completely environmentally friendly. There weren't even supposed to be cars on the streets. There were underground cars. They were going to have the monorails going around, so there was safety on the streets. You could walk around freely and stuff like that. And it was supposed to be this city where there were people that were living there who could work there, and it was supposed to be totally a perfect Walt's Dream city. Now, did this happen? Absolutely not. Epcot became a theme park. But when they came about with the Epcot theme park, they decided that they were just not going to make it the stereotypical Disney theme park where they wouldn't have any intellectual properties, which I will be using and referring to as IPs. Intellectual properties just mean Disney movies, basically, when I'm talking about them. So they were going to have a park where it was just going to be complete outside stuff and promoting the future as well as a variety of diversity in cultures, which you kind of see with the two different sections of Epcot, which include Future World, or the main sections of Epcot, which include Future World and the World Showcase. Now, both the Future World and the World Showcase, when they came out, were revolutionary, kind of. I would say they're revolutionary, personally, because you never really see, you can go to Mexico in Florida, and I think that's very cool, personally, just because they really did a great job recreating these lands, sponsored by the countries, which is another cool thing, in that those countries do sponsor these lands. They are all the cast members that work in those countries are from those countries, and I think that's a very interesting factoid. But recently, they have been completely undoing this. So, a couple of the big things that they've taken away are definitely the Innovations Pavilion, which are just some cool creations going into the future. A lot of that's not Disney taking it away as much as the agreements that have come undone or have finished up, and they're just not renewing it, and they're trying to come up with different things. Now, Disney in their new, as I call it, the money-grabbing Disney stage, where they're not following Walt's Dream. And I'm very critical on Disney. I love Disney more than anyone, don't get me wrong. I need to keep prefacing that because I do love Disney, but this is very money-grabbing. And they are just trying to put their intellectual properties into the park just so they can get more people into the park. Whereas Walt's Dream is that it's Epcot, it's supposed to be about Epcot, not about Disney, and not about making money. And I think that would be, personally, you may disagree, but I think that would be the ideal scenario for this. A couple of the ways they have been doing this and changing Epcot from Walt's Dream to what it is supposed to be are that they are putting, the biggest thing that I'm noticing personally, but they are doing it throughout the park, but the World Showcase is the one that's being hit the most. And as you know, a lot of countries from the Disney movies are kind of similar to the countries in the World Showcase. So for instance, the one guaranteed one that we already have is that the Norway Pavilion has already been completely overtaken by Frozen. You can see that there's still some Norwegian influence there, but the people that are going there are specifically going there for the Frozen ride, for meeting Anna and Elsa. You can see the Frozen influence throughout that pavilion. Obviously that's been successful, and as a business major personally, I definitely see the financial aspect in that. which is fantastic. But I think there are plenty of other ways to go about it that don't take away from the core values. So by seeing how successful the Frozen Pavilion is, Disney's obviously said, hey, let's take this idea and run with it. And I'm sure they've been planning this for years, and I'm sure that it's a good idea, but for the Epcot people who like the history, like the idea of having this completely IP-free pavilion, it's kind of a little bit of an issue, and I just wanted to talk about that right now. So, with all that being said, a couple of the big rumors that have been talked about. The one almost confirmed rumor, and all these are rumors, but the one almost confirmed is the Ratatouille ride in the France Pavilion. So what they're going to do is take the Ratatouille ride from Disneyland Paris, basically bring it over. There's a chance the space behind the World Showcase Pavilion in France is very large. Actually, they're having to like change around a few little things behind there, but they have a lot of room, and they're going, most likely, it's not guaranteed, but they're most likely going to put the track-free Ratatouille ride back there, which personally, I think that is an interesting idea. I like the idea of that ride, and I think it would be fantastic, but I just don't want to see it go into Epcot because it just takes away from Epcot's core values. That is almost a guarantee, and a lot of rumors that have been going around recently, people are pretty much speculating that this is going to happen, and this will be announced at the D23 event coming up here in July. And it is quite frustrating, but a couple of the other major rumors that I would assume they're going to start announcing at D23. Who knows what's going to happen though with Disney, because it's all part of their 5-year plan with Epcot they're coming up with. They're going to start replacing out all the pavilions, as I kind of touched on earlier. So, for example, the UK pavilion, they're going to put in like a Mary Poppins either theme or attraction. And I'm not trying to say this as I don't want Mary Poppins in the park, because I think that would be fantastic to get Mary Poppins in the parks. I just personally do not believe in Mary Poppins entering the UK pavilion, because that's kind of just taking away from the UK. It's just becoming all about Mary Poppins. A couple of the other major ones, and it's all kind of going along with that theme. It's not said yet whether or not there are going to be rides in every one individually, but some of them are more likely than others. For example, in the Mexico pavilion, currently we have a boat ride that's called the Three Caballeros Grand Fiesta Tour, which features Donald and the Three Caballeros. And it's like you go through and there are a bunch of screens and it's a little boat ride, and it's an enjoyable ride, but it's like it was like a sign for things to come when they first entered it. And they're going to be replacing that with a Coco theme attraction. And if you don't know, Coco is the new Disney movie that's coming out at the end of this year. And they're probably just going to, nothing's been confirmed yet. My assumption is that they're going to be switching out a lot of the screens and stuff just for Coco themed IPs. And I'm just not a fan of this. I just don't like the fact that they're taking away from the country feel and more making it just more of a Disney feel. And then one of the quotes that I've read about when I was doing research on this is that they originally created Epcot to be a complement, not a supplement to Magic Kingdom, which I think is very interesting, because you don't want it to become Magic Kingdom 2.0. You just want it to be something that, like, you know Magic Kingdom and you also know Epcot, and they're diverse parks, but they're both great. And I think that's how you had it. And obviously there's a lot that needed to be redone with Epcot, but this is not the way to go about it, as I've stated before. A couple of the other major ones, and if you haven't heard about these, here you go, a couple of rumors, even if you completely disagree with everything I'm saying right now. In Japan, a Big Hero 6 is going to be put in there, is something I've definitely heard about, which makes sense because that is kind of like, not anime, but it's like getting closer to the anime type of thing, as it's based off of that. In Germany, it's either going to be Snow White or Tangled theme. These are complete speculations at this point, but as a lot of things have been pointing toward this, a couple of rumors that I've been hearing and reading about. And the other big one, and this is the one that kind of disappoints me the most, is that in the China Pavilion they're going to make it Mulan theme. And while I like Mulan and I love I love everything about Mulan. I just went to Shanghai Disney, it was really cool. I'll talk about that another time though. But they were going to have the Mushu voice actor come in and narrate the China film, and that's a very solid rumor at this point. Instead of having the traditional, I mean, personally, I don't really enjoy the person who does the China like narration at the moment, but I don't think that Mushu needs to be coming in there like cracking jokes when you're trying to go in there and really appreciate the culture. And I think that's what Epcot's all about, is respecting other people's cultures, respecting the progress for the future, and stuff like that. So getting out of the World Showcase a little bit, just talking a little bit more about the Epcot overhaul in general. The big rumors that have been coming out are a new video for Mission Space, which has been desperately needed for years. That's been in there for quite a while. I'm not entirely sure when that came about, but it's been in there for quite a while, which is okay because Mission Space can be switched out with just the videos to have like a new little adventure for you, and I think that would be awesome. And it's stuff like that. If Epcot were to just upgrade rather than completely recreate, I think it would be much better and stick more to Walt's ideals rather than what they're doing now, which is just completely revamping it. A couple of the other ones, though, are the Universe of Energy Pavilion, which had the Ellen's Energy Adventure. Everybody pretty much knew that that was going to go away at some point or another because there was never, if you go there, there's never really a line for it. The ride itself lasts, I think, about 37 minutes or something like that, and not many people wanted to dedicate that much time to a ride unless it's like one of the high rollers that they just want to go on over and over again. But the Universe of Energy Pavilion has been rumored to be switched out with either the Tron ride, which isn't a very soft rumor right now. Nobody really knows that that would actually be going in there, or the major rumor that has been speculated about for years is a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction going in there, and more likely than not, a Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. Now, the issue with the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, at the moment, it's okay because the Marvel contract with Disney has a very strict stipulation about how they, east of the Mississippi River, they cannot have the Avengers characters or certain things. That's a very complex contract, but Guardians at the moment are protected and Disney can use that. But since the Guardians are going to be in the new Avengers movie, I'm assuming, then they'll technically be considered part of the Avengers, or it's kind of a very gray area at the moment, so who knows what's going to happen there. Either way, I'm not a fan of the Guardians ride going in there just because I feel like the Guardians roller coaster would be a huge success, obviously. People love Marvel, and Guardians of the Galaxy was a very popular Marvel movie that people are going to respond to and say, hey, it's a new roller coaster at Disney World, this is Guardians theme, so obviously. And then I think, personally just speculating, that's just going to start more of a Marvel Epcot mix, where Epcot's not really going to have any country theme, or maybe it will, but it's going to be all IPs, and it's going to be Marvel in one half and IPs in the World Showcase on the other, which personally that frustrates me, and just the thought of that becoming a possibility is not okay. And the other big one is in the Figment ride, which is called Journey into Imagination with Figment. They're going to make it more of an Inside Out theme, which personally I like that because I think Inside Out definitely deserves a place in the Disney parks because of its popularity, and it does, more than anything, I think Inside Out does fit in with Epcot, so if you are going to have IPs, I think that would be a cool one to put in, but a big rumor is that they're going to put that with Figment, so they're going to have Inside Out Figment mix, which I just do not understand that at the moment. But if they are going to do IPs, I think Inside Out is perfect to go in there because it does talk more about yourself and learning about yourself, and I think it just fits well with Epcot. I don't know why, it's just my gut reaction. So those are the big rumors. I know I've been talking about that for a while. It's just, it frustrates me greatly in that they're taking away completely. Walt's idea obviously wasn't necessarily doable, but what they had and what their plan was for Epcot I think was really, really cool from the start. And I think if they were to just recreate that rather than completely restore that with, or I said that backward, I'm sorry. If they were to restore that rather than recreate that, I think that would be a much better solution for their declining park numbers, because Epcot, it's not the worst park attendance at the moment, but it is very close to that, and that's probably something Disney wants to address. So all in all, Epcot, it's very much a mess right now. A lot of the stuff they have is closed right now, like Innoventions, especially Spaceship Earth is down for restoration at the moment. Ellen's going away soon, and I think they definitely do need to do something, and I don't think this is the right way to go about it. You may think completely differently, and that's a-okay with me. And this was a very serious video, and I don't like being this serious about it, but Epcot is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I would like to see it change, but change for the better. So let me know what you think. I'm really curious to see what happens. I'm very excited for D23 to hear what they're going to come up with and officially announce, so I can stop saying these are rumors and start confirming these things. But I'm just very excited to see what happens, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts. So thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and we'll see you real soon.